with gable cap. Now we really had a system down, and the second half of the roof metal went up in just a few hours. I couldn't believe that in one day we went from rough framing to a functional covered space. The original plan was to add secondary roof structures over both of the containers, but then in the middle of the night I woke up realizing that we needed a roof deck. With the A-team around for a few more days, we got to work framing out our rooftop deck. During our lumber milling project, we mostly made 2x6 boards, but some of the larger trees were turned into 2x8s, and these would make perfect floor joists for the deck. I attached a toe plate directly to the roof container with screws and adhesive. On the opposite side, we attached a ledger board to the pony wall that holds up the main roof. This gave us a really convenient way to attach deck joists to the container. I like to use screws for construction projects like this. These are structural framing screws that are rated for this application. Screwing every deck board down took a long time, but I think it was worth it to lock everything down solid. It was so satisfying to watch the deck boards go down on our rooftop deck. These deck boards were a waste material during our lumber milling project that we decided to turn into random length and width 1x boards. Perfect for a DIY deck. To add some dimension and to make the best use of some longer 2x8s that I had, I decided to cantilever out the center section of the deck. I also ran the boards at a diagonal. This just gave it some more dimension and character because after all, this is a fun project. On the diagonal section, I was struggling to cut the boards to the right length. Then I realized that I could just leave the boards long. I drew a straight line and I cut them all at once with the miter saw. Courtney was able to help me on the last section, and before we knew it, our deck was done. I've got some big plans for this deck that include a bridge, mountain bike jumps, and maybe even a train? With the deck done, it was time to do the last roof section. I really wanted to use up our milled lumber, but that meant getting a little creative with the framing. I laminated 2x6s cut at our 312 roof pitch onto the pony wall to create a vertical load path for our rafters to sit on. Ideally, the rafters would have been 2x8s, but since I used all of those up on the deck, I made mini roof trusses out of 2x6s, and they should be plenty for our snow load requirements. While I worked on the roof purlins and fascia, Courtney put the last row of screws onto our upper roof metal. We definitely should have stained the fascia before putting it up, but I was way too excited to stop working, and Courtney had to pay the price for that one. Thanks, Courtney. Before I covered up my convenient scaffolding, also known as the container roof, I had to stop procrastinating and finish the metal trim on the main roof structure. Equipped with dry shoes and all the courage I could muster, I headed up onto the roof for hopefully the last time. After screwing in my fall protection, I got to work installing the gable trim. The metal trim gets expensive fast on a building like this, so we were really trying to optimize cost versus finished look. I think the gable trim really finished